Right, now I'm going to talk a bit about what dyslexia is, okay? What causes dyslexia, what the sort of traits of dyslexia are, perhaps some of the methods that can be used to combat the negative symptoms or signs of dyslexia and things like that. I mean, I'm actually dyslexic myself, so I feel justified in saying this. Although I've not been diagnosed as dyslexic, I'm 100% sure, so to speak, in everyday life that I'm dyslexic, severely so as well. I've also got ADHD and bipolar, which means, as I've said before, my head's like a video set going a million miles an hour, okay? Video camera. Basically, dyslexia means you've got your left and right side of your brain, okay? And when a lot of children, or the majority of children, this is how I understand it anyway, medically speaking, okay, in the brain. There's pathways between the two cortexes of your brain, okay? Left and the right, okay? There's loads and loads and loads of pathways. So it's interconnected, so people say that's why children think so much and imagine so much and play imaginary games, you see. And as some children grow up, they stop imagining things in the same way. And what's happening, medically speaking, in the brain is that, this is what I've heard anyway, is that the pathways are dying out, you see. Some of them are still there, so they've still got obviously a bit of imagination, but just not the same complete imagination that they would have had. And they're able to access the creative part of the brain or the calculating part of the brain. Specifically, if they need to add up some maths, for example, or spell a word, they can access that and they can focus on it, okay? But in a dyslexic person, the difference being is that the pathways, they don't die out as much as what they might do in a normal person, dare I say what normal is. And that's the difference between a dyslexic person, physically speaking, in the brain, and a non-dyslexic person, as I understand it currently. This is the way I imagine my own mind anyway. So basically dyslexia is many connections still in the pathways between the brain, so you're not able to access the calculating part of your brain when you might want to, in the same way that a person who isn't dyslexic may be able to. You can't isolate it in the same way because you're also splitting between the two, the creative and the calculation part of your brain, you see. So that's why the numbers tend to swim. Like for me, some really simple words are almost impossible for me to spell. At certain times it depends, but I just lose the ability to see them, and I just look at them and then I just can't see anything. So the symbols don't mean the same as what they did, and it's really difficult. I'm also really slow in maths, believe it or not, okay? Another trait of dyslexia basically is that it's sort of like the opposite. You do everything goes backwards, in a sense. That's the thing. Like when I read a book, for example, it took me years and years to find the confidence to read the ending first, okay? That's what it was. Because like whenever you read a book, everyone says, oh, you must wait till the end to read the ending. Oh, it will spoil the ending, this and that, don't they? It's the same with films. And when I read, I can't remember which book it was, but I read a book and I read the ending first before I started the book. And it made so much of a difference. I had such a deeper, richer understanding of the book because I'd read the back pages, let's say 5 pages first, the very ending of the book. And it made so much of a difference to me. I was able to understand it so much more. And I realised, having read it this way, how difficult it is for me to read a book from start to finish. I'd much rather dip into a book and just have loads and loads of little bits that I have to sort of flip from, go ding 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 like a jigsaw, and I put them together in my own way. Then I can form the whole story. I can reverse it backwards, I can run it forwards, I can run it this way and that way, rather than having it in a linear, unchanging form, if you like a normal story. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end, you know. And that's the thing with, like I say, doing things backwards and stuff. Like my sister is also dyslexic, and she used to pronounce words sort of backwards or mixed up when she was young, and I did as well. I was really slow at maths, but the thing with these opposites in dyslexia is the hard things are easy a lot of the time for dyslexic people, and the easy things are hard. I find directions, I can find my way 5 miles from my house and my car, pretty much, perhaps 15 miles at a push. After that I'm completely lost. Right, I've lived around the same area for 20 years, and I still don't know where I'm going. I couldn't tell someone where such and such a town is. You know, I just can't do it. I don't know why. It's not that I don't want to do it. And if you've watched these videos that I've been making and stuff, like, obviously, I don't like to say it like this, but I've obviously got quite a decent education, if you see what I'm saying, okay? I've more than got the ability, in theory, to understand directions. You know, I can understand mathematics and everything, the higher maths, but I can't understand the easy maths. I can't add up, for example. And like, I can tell you the finer points of geography and history and everything else, but if you asked me where a certain country was, I probably couldn't tell you, you know, a lot of the time. I'm learning geography and stuff, but it's just things like this, the simple things that are really fundamental are really difficult for me. Things that are really, really simple, I find impossible to understand a lot of the time. But the complicated things, I just get right into them and I just see them in my head. It's the same with mathematics, you see, like I say, with being dyslexic, because it's these pathways between, you see, so I'm imagining and calculating at the same time. So it's like calculating imagination, I suppose, in a way, which, when accessed the right way, in such a way that I've managed to do, whatever, with my website and everything, it's a really powerful tool to understanding things, because whatever anyone says, whatever knowledge you happen to be studying, you can see it in an actual video in your head, you see, and that's the important thing. That's why I know so much stuff. I mean, so to speak, I don't mean I know loads of things, you know. All I mean is this is why I can talk like I do about sort of Russell's paradox and things, because I've seen it in my head. It's not some sort of some text that I've studied and memorised or something. It's not like that. It's a fluid and changing principle in my mind, and I can see the patterns and everything. I can see the parallels between everything else. I can see the connections between everything. And I see some really mad connections in things sometimes that other people just can't quite grasp in a way, but this is what makes my mind so powerful in a way. And also with the bipolar and ADHD, you see, you know, everything is just a video. That's what it is, and I'm making videos now, but this is me talking about sort of what's in my mind, really. I do literally see it in my mind. I can see it now. You know, and that's what dyslexia is about. It's about sort of being visual, I suppose, and a lot more creative perhaps than some people might be. I mean, this is a bit random, this video, I suppose. I've gone a bit off topic, but that's part of dyslexia as well, you see. I'm trying to talk with my rational part of my brain, saying, okay, I'm going to talk about dyslexia, this, like this. I'm also imagining dyslexia in my head's going, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm like, oh, I've got about 1 million more ideas to say about dyslexia, you see. So this is going to have to run over a couple of videos, I think. I'm just going up to the 10-minute limit. So I'll stop this one here, and then I'll make another one concurrently, okay?